Mason, maybe just talk a little bit about Game 6 and everything that you and your teammates went through in terms of hockey and real life.
Yeah, it was, um, super tough time for, one of our teammates, one of our brothers, and to see Mark step on the ice and play a hockey game is so incredible and so incredibly strong of him. And, it was almost, didn't even seem real in a sense. Battled, tried to leave it all out there for him. Um, you know, Obviously I had an insane chance there that didn't go in, and OT, they score right away there. It almost felt like we were settling in for another, a long overtime game that we were going to win. We liked a lot of the game, but, it's a good Dallas team, and there's a reason they've been in the conference finals repeatedly, so, yeah.
Adam was almost in tears when he talked about wanting so desperately to get that kill so that Mark could come out of the box and keep playing. Would the same emotion come to you for that wonderful chance you had with about 8.5 minutes left in the third period?
Sure. I mean, puck didn't really settle how I wanted it to, so I didn't really hit it how I needed or wanted to. Yeah, you look back at it and you score the goal, you're winning the game. So yeah, obviously it's kind of haunting in a sense, frustrating, but at the same time, like, you see goalies make incredible saves, and I didn't get what I wanted on it, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's a game of inches, and it is what it is, I guess.
From your experience in playing the game, how difficult are the what-ifs of the game to deal with afterwards?
I mean, you can think about those things for days. It's athletes competing. It's not, pen and paper. You're just figuring out stuff, and it's yes or no answers. It's not how the game of hockey works. There's what ifs in everyday life too, but there's a million in a game of, 60 minutes of two teams competing at that pace and speed. So, like, yeah, what if they didn't hit the post there close to the end and it just went in? There's different, like, a million what ifs on both sides, but yeah, it's a sport. It is what it is.
You guys left everything on the table. That was clear to see. What's the sense of pride in the organization and the team's growth over the last couple of years here?
It's high. Tons of pride playing here, being here. You lose in 5 last year. You lose 4 straight. You have a real sour taste. And I thought, we chased it all summer and then got back and put a great product on the ice for 82 games and won a lot of hockey games and, won the President's Trophy, and then, found ourselves in an absolute dogfight against St. Louis and came out alive. And I don't really feel that this Dallas series was a 4-2 series. We were a what if away from, Game 7 coming back in our building where we've been dominant. So, yeah, definitely a lot of pride and a lot to be proud of.
You're wearing a Winnipeg hat. Is the hope to wear one of those for a long time?
Yeah, if everything, obviously, sides got to talk and stuff's got to get figured out. But I love being a Winnipeg Jet. This is all I really know. Was just in Seattle for a short while, and I love it here and I love this organization. And yeah, I would, if we can work it out, I'd, happy to be a Jet.
What are some of the things that are at the top of your checklist, Mason, on the next deal?
I'm 29. I'd like some, some terms, some stability on that. But at the same day, that sometimes that changes the numbers a little bit and this and that. I guess, I kind of got an idea in my head, but, and we haven't really had much communication with them. And I guess hopefully in the next little bit here, maybe we can get to work here and see what both sides want and need and go from there.
It's a tough day, Mason, in the sense that, you're saying goodbye, but you don't know, I guess, if everybody's going to be back together in the fall.
Yeah, it is. I've never been in a spot like this as a UFA potential. So how do you pack your house even, like things like that? But yeah, it is different. you know, when you got term left on your deal, a loss stings and the season ends, and you know, you dwell and you get over it, and then it's okay, we got next year, and that's not the reality for me right now. You don't know what next year brings and where that'll be. But yeah, like I said, I love being a Winnipeg Jet.
So from that perspective, Mason, how helpful is it that you get to come home and be a dad, something that you hadn't been able to do before, I think last summer,
Yeah.
you know, in terms of dealing with these moments. Before you'd be maybe dwelling on it, but now you've, you know, got some other priorities in your life that take maybe away from that.
Yeah, no, it's a huge blessing in that sense. You know, you have a 1-year-old, they're just trying to not bonk their head on stuff, and you're trying to help them with that. So just a lot of chasing them around, and you know, definitely keeps your mind off the game. And you know, he doesn't know anything about hockey, and he doesn't know what I do, and it's actually cool that it's that way. And yeah, you just got to go be a dad and, you know, love your kid and your wife, and they can kind of distract you and, you know, help you out through tough times.
Sorry to go back to contract stuff, but the Jets did lock up some people during the year, and from your perspective, is there any sense of FOMO or like missing out on that type of stuff?
No, I mean, every situation's different. You don't know necessarily what their plan is and how they want to, you know, go about it. Whether, you know, you feel a little FOMO or not, like there's an order and a process to everything they have. Like, you know, there's, you know, Nick Ehlers, no contract, like things like that. Like, there's guys that are unsigned. So, no, I mean, the Jets haven't in the past generally, you know, signed a lot of guys throughout the course of the season, but I think everyone's, you know, growing. Maybe they're trying to do things a little different and be better as well. So, yeah, no FOMO. It is what it is. And obviously those are, you know, close friends too that get those deals. So, you know, super happy for them. And I think, you know, all three of those guys are great players and great people. And, yeah, I love seeing them get deals.
Thanks.
That was a great